Hey everyone, Enie's 20. Finally back to finish this, or at least to get it up to date, since we're almost there. It's November, so we're good. I left off after August, so we just got September and October to do. And these should be really quick because I slowed down. It's like the first like 6-7 months of the year was just jam-packed with a lot of stuff, and now it just kind of slow. So like the last thing that I did last month was finish RoboCop Rogue City. Still super good. I would be totally down playing the whole thing all over again. But this and I wanted to watch the movies right after I finished the game, and of course I didn't. How long did that take? Almost a month later, I finally decided to start watching the movies. I think. I'm trying to remember. I think the only movie of these that I've seen like 90% of was RoboCop 3. Back in the day. And I think I saw like a scene or two of the first one, but that's it. So watching all of them again was a lot of fun. On September 21st, I watched the first RoboCop. And that was just good. It was so cool, just because going into it was so cool seeing how well represented everything was in the game. Because like watching the movies after the fact was like, whoa, yeah. Like the way that the precinct looks, like the shots for you driving in and out of the precinct and stuff. And just the general vibe of how everything looks in the game, I was like, it was reflected perfectly in the movies. Well, I mean, I guess it's the other way around, but it was just really cool seeing so many things in the movie that I'm just like, oh man, that's rad. That's really cool. Yeah, the first RoboCop was really good. It's awesome. I'd watch it like right now. If I could finish recording this and just pop it in and watch it again, totally, because it is good. I don't know what else to say about it. Um, any favorite parts? It's been like 2 months since I saw it, almost. Gosh, I don't know. I guess it's just amusing that after he gets turned into RoboCop, he just kind of goes out in town and does his beat like a normal cop, which I just thought was fun. Of just catching a bunch of criminals and all that stuff. It was really neat. I just liked it. Crazy violent, super fun. Like, gosh, it's just so good. I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said already. Like, I'm trying to think. I wish I had recorded this sooner after, because I'm sure I would have had something better in mind to watch it or to talk about it. Ending was definitely nice. I was surprised actually that he, for like the last act of the movie, he didn't have the helmet on. He took it off when he was at the steel mill, like the weird construction place where he has the final showdown with the criminal. I was gonna say Antonowski. Antonowski's not even the main villain. He's just one of the guys. But yeah, so that was cool. It was just cool. It was just a really cool movie. Really enjoyed it. RoboCop theme is awesome. Of course, in the middle of all those RoboCops, I was also playing the new Five Nights at Freddy's game, Into the Pit, which I finished on September 22nd, so the next day. Yeah, I was interested in getting this game ever since it was announced, and I was really curious how it would work because I actually read Into the Pit a bunch. A few Fazbear Fright stories are on Spotify as audiobooks, and this is the one that I listened to. The only one, I think. I don't even think I listened to Be Beautiful. It could be. I don't think I did know. But I did go through all of Into the Pit, and it's funny because like the only thing I knew about Into the Pit, like from Matt Pat's game theories and all that stuff, whenever he brings it up, he's obsessively talking about the time traveling ball pit. So when I actually read it, and there was so much more to it than that, I was like, this story is nuts. It's going places, especially at the end when Oswald has this big fight with Springtrap at the end before Springtrap gets hung by the ball pit, by the net. I was like, what was that? No one ever talks about that. It's always just a stupid ball pit. Like, it was amusing. So I was really curious how they would do the game. Obviously, the game takes a lot of liberties and changes things from the book so that it can be a game. Because like one thing I noticed right away is that when you go back in time the first time, everything falls apart like 5 minutes later. Whereas I believe in the book, Oswald goes back in time and hangs out at the old Freddy's, or the new Freddy's, many times. He's always going back there, like all the time. And it's only one day when he comes in and that everything's going wrong and Springtrap's doing his Springtrap things and stuff. But of course, they crush that all down to one trip, and then the rest of the trips are the gameplay. I had initially planned to like try to complete the game, but there's some things about it that are just so inconvenient. Um, the thing that I hated the most, there's an achievement for not using your flashlight at all, so I figured, yeah, I'll do it without it. And then one time I started playing and I just hit the flashlight button. Like I was just, I was next to, it was something that I had to push in the game, and for some reason I hit the flashlight button instead, so it popped on for like a second before I turned it off, and I was like, please tell me that didn't count. So I quit out the game. I exited the game without saving. I just closed the file, the exe, and then opened it back up again, and I had to redo, I think, half a night or something. Then I finished the game, no achievement for the night vision. That it counted, and I was like, that's so infuriating. I mean, my ending the game and resetting didn't count, which was annoying. So there's some that just the level of patience they require makes me go like, never mind. I think I'm good without completing this game. Like the complete the game without getting caught, and then complete the game, hide in every single hiding spot is nonsense. Like, cause I was like, well, there's a bunch of like closets, let's say, that you can hide in. There's like 3 closets, let's say. So I guess you hide in one closet, and that counts. You hid in the closet. Nope, you gotta hide in all 3 individual closets wherever they are. Under all the different tables, under the this, under the that. I'm just like, never mind, I don't want to do that one either. And of course I then found out that there is a hardest difficulty you unlock, which I'm like, I don't think it's too bad in terms of difficulty. Maybe I'm wrong. Until I found out that no, the hardest one is a one and done mode, where if you get caught and die, I think that's it. You just gotta restart from the beginning. So I'm like, okay, then absolutely not completing this game. And the same problem when I read that in what was it? I think Ori and Hollow Knight have the same thing, which is just crazy to me. People who can do that kind of stuff are really impressive. Overall, really solid book. I still don't know if our game, based off a pretty nice book, still don't know if they ever confirmed what that Springtrap was, because it clearly wasn't human. Obviously, from the teeth and the way that it acts. But yeah, there's a lot of trippy stuff about the Fazbear Frights and Stitch Ray stories, and especially the ultimate conclusion that is like really interesting and that I really liked. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of assumption now that the next one they want to adapt is Fetch, which I'm like, Once again, in my brain, I'm like, well, how would that work as a game? But I mean, how did this one work? Worked pretty well. So that was nice. That was a fun time to have. And then after that, how long after that? Oh, same day, I watched RoboCop 2. I really did like RoboCop 2, but I have it there, right there, mentioned it. And I think I told this to my sister. It just reminded me of Spider-Man 3, which is like, not in terms of being bad, 'cause I don't think Spider-Man 3 is all that bad, but I understand why people don't like it. My issue with that movie was there was, I think, 2 or 3 times during Spider-Man 3 where I just had to look at the timeline. I'm like, how much movie do I have left? Like, the movie feels like it's 3 hours long. Like, it just keeps going. There's way too much in it. That's how I felt about this one. This one felt very long, and I wasn't like, I don't know if I don't think it was, but it certainly did. And it's funny because like everyone talks about the dancing scene in Spider-Man 3. It was like a similar thing with like when RoboCop was given all the directives, and he's going around trying to be a friendly cop, and it's like pretty goofy part. I'm like, yeah. I feel like at best they could find a way to tighten it up. You know, maybe cut something here and there to just make it flow a bit better. But even then, still pretty good. Like very enjoyable. Like obviously the first movie is still fantastic, but the second one, yeah, you know, I liked it. That was really cool. Him and the evil nuke cult people, led by what's his face, was pretty good plot thread. Man, they had like the shittiest little kid in the history of little kids. Which, I mean, I rated this like little children in just about everything. So he was a dick, and I was like, oh my gosh, they actually killed him. Cool. Crazy. Didn't see that coming. And of course, the final battle between RoboCop and RoboCop 2 that I saw was also pretty cool. Because the amount of stop motion that they used for RoboCop 2 and the ED-209s in both movies and stuff, I'm just like, jeez, that's a lot of work. Like, but like it pays off because it looks cool. It really, I really do think it looks pretty cool. The way that it goes. And I also thought my favorite part of this movie, this is one thing I do remember, is that while RoboCop does do a lot of things on his own, and he handles the like core action, it's like after he gets rebooted, after he zaps himself and reboots himself, and and they're like, "What's bugging you, RoboCop?" He's like, "Kane," and then they all get together, like him and the entire precinct go together to get Kane. I thought that was awesome. The big shootout that they all have there, where all the cops are helping RoboCop, and then it's like, that's awesome. It's like, yeah, you like to see the one-man army do his thing, but it's also cool when like the whole gang, the whole squad shows up. Same thing with the big final battle against RoboCop 2, where all the cops were there, also shooting at it and stuff. I just like that, I guess, sense of, I don't know, just the whole group getting in on the action instead of one guy. Not that I mind it being the one guy, but I just thought that was very cool. So that was neat. It's very neat. And I actually didn't know this, which we'll talk about more when I go into the next one. September 30th, end of the month, I watched RoboCop 3. And I didn't know that Peter Weller wasn't in this one. Like, I thought, in my head, I remember it was Nancy Allen's character. Oh man, my brain's not working right now. Darn it. Well, Anne Lewis. I thought she was the one that got swapped out for the third movie. Like, no, she's still there. It's RoboCop himself. I was like, really? Because once again, this was the one I saw the most of. And so that was stuck in my head. I didn't notice there was any difference, but coming into RoboCop 3 after 1 and 2, it's incredibly obvious that's not Peter Weller's voice. Like, I'm like, I mean, I guess I wouldn't have noticed it because I didn't see the first two all that much when I was younger. But yeah, it's kind of nutty. Losing the R rating wasn't a good idea. It's not like, oh, it has to be violent, but it was weird just how, I don't know, it's just strange going from the first two to this one. And of course the thing that I do remember as a kid seeing, and I tried to rectify that in my head, was the fact that inexplicably RoboCop's fourth primary directive is just back. One where he can't hurt OCP agents, which is something that one of the bad guys from the first movie put in on him. But when he reboots himself in RoboCop 2, he has no directives. There are none. Like, he's back to, like, he can act like autonomously, basically. I think obviously he'll still follow the first three, because why wouldn't he? But like, I thought the implication from that scene in 2 when he reboots himself and it says nothing is that he's free. So when this movie came in and he had his directives again, including that fourth one, I was like, they just insert that all so they could have the payoff of killing off Anne like 20 minutes into the movie? Or were they never deleted? Like, regardless, I still thought it was weird, and definitely killing off Anne was a dumb thing to do. Though I will say, it was weird watching all three movies, and especially the first two. She's in them a lot less than I would imagine she would be. There's a lot of situations where RoboCop goes off to do something, and you would think that she would be there with him because she's his partner, but she's just not there. Some of his showdowns in the first two movies, he just goes alone. Like when he gets caught by Kane's people and torn apart, he went over there by himself. He didn't take anyone with him. So it's a bit weird that she's not as prominent as I expected her to be. But yeah, there was still some fun to have there. I always liked the Japanese robots, the Otomo. What were they called? I forgot. But those guys, I thought they were cool. Look freaky. The second one, the one that he shoots in the face, has always stuck in my head. Well, I think he shoots it in general. The first one gets his head blown off, but this one he just shoots a bunch. It's always stuck in my head, that version of the character, because that's the one that has like the messed up face after all the bullets are there. It's got the big smile and like the bulging eyes and stuff after he shot it. I always thought that was freaky as a kid, just the way that it looked. Yeah, the bad guy was a dick. He was so entertaining though. I forgot his name, but yeah, so there's cool things about it, but I can also understand, much like with Spider-Man 3, I can understand why people don't like it as much as the first two. It's very clear. And I wrote it down here because I thought it was very cool, the way that they ended it by having a callback to the last line from the first movie, which was him talking to the old man, asking him, "What's your name, son?" And he's like, "Murphy." And then in this one, the new head of OCP asks him that they call him Murphy, and he specifies, "My friends call me Murphy. You call me RoboCop." And I just thought that was nice. That was a really good like bookend, I guess you could say. I did think it was weird that the old man was just gone, though I believe the actor passed away, I think, between the second and third movies. and they don't really specify why he's not there. But like obviously in the game, since it takes place between 2 and 3, they had him die of a heart attack, I think it was. But I think what was even more interesting, and I didn't even know this, is that in the game, one of the subplots is about the election between Mayor Cusack and the OCP guy, and depending on your actions, it changes who wins. And I'm like, well, how can that happen? Because Cusack's supposed to win, right? I'm pretty sure he was in the third movie. He wasn't. No, he was in the second one. He didn't show up in the third one at all. So I guess the assumption is who knows what happens with that, like in the actual canon. Maybe there's just a different mayor. Who knows? I will say I did like the police chief. I forgot his name too. This is what happens when I'm a month separated from the things I'm talking about. But I liked him. He had like a little bit of screen time in each one, but it's always entertaining to see him pop up. And once again, just like with RoboCop 2, I liked all the cops and the people getting together to fight off the rehabs in the city before RoboCop came flying in. And as it was happening, I remembered everything that happened once he reaches the OCP building and has his final showdown with the bad guy. You know, from the two robots cutting each other's heads off to him burning the guy's foot and the building exploding. And just like, it was fun. It was a good time. It was enjoyable, even though, yeah, the first two were much better. So, neat. I really liked it. That was fun. It was good. Going back in time, revisiting some old movies. RoboCop's definitely super enjoyable. Good game. Recommend. So yeah, that was it for September. Like literally just the 3 RoboCop movies and Five Nights at Freddy's. Right? They all started in like on the 20th, so I think most of that month was spent on Five Nights. I could be wrong. I don't think I was doing anything else at that time, but who knows? I'll check in later. Anyway, that's it for September, and I'll see you all next time for October. Till then, hasta.